I saw this the other day on Pinterest and I told myself let's create a version of it using Davinci Resolve since it's been a long time I haven't published a tutorial. Start by adding a Fusion composition to the timeline, then right click and open in a Fusion page. Here just grab background node from here and connect it to the media out. Head to the inspector tab and reduce the alpha to 0 so we can get a transparent background. Now let's grab this map, which by the way you can get the assets used in this video down in the description. Like the usual, connect it like this and let's tweak it a little bit. Shift plus space and add a color corrector node. Then grab another line from media 1 and connect it to the blue triangle of the color corrector node. This way every adjustment you do to it will affect only the map. Now reduce the saturation and play with this section until you get the look that suits well with your scene. Again search for zoom blur and from the viewer put the center of the effect in Poland area. Then reduce the zoom amount. This way we get a nice blur on the edges like you see here. The last one, add a vignette and play with the settings so you will get a nice focus to the center of our scene here. The next step will be by adding another background node. Change the color to white and connect it to a polygon node. Basically we are going to trace over the edges of Poland country, which can take some time, I know, especially if you have a lot of countries to do, but there is no shortcuts for it, unless you use a map software like QGIS for example. When you're done, you'll get this solid fill, and when you uncheck the solid and increase the border width, you'll get this border. Let's make it pop by adding a soft glow node and adjust the gain and glow size. Now add this fill PNG and in the merge apply mode settings, change it to multiply. Again, add a soft glow node and adjust the gain and glow size to get this nice effect. This is another PNG to add, which we will animate it later on to refer the German occupation. We're done with the 2D environment and now let's create the 3D one. First, disconnect the base scene by double-click the yellow line when it turns to blue. Then click on the last merge node, shift plus space and add an image plane 3D. Then a merge 3D, then a renderer 3D in this exact order and connect everything to the media out. And lastly, grab this camera 3D and connect it to the merge 3D. Everything will disappear, don't panic. From here, activate the dual viewer mode, head to the merge 3D node and click one from your keyboard to put it in the second screen. To navigate here, click on the middle mouse to move like this, Ctrl plus the mouse wheel to zoom in and out, and Alt plus the middle mouse to turn it like this. Now, put it in this position, click on the camera 3D node and from the viewer drag it using the blue line. And there you go. We are going to add several objects here, so click on the image plane 3D and in the transform settings increase the scale and readjust the camera position. This way we get enough space here when we do the animation later, which it can be heavy for your PC or Mac setup, so head over here, right click and uncheck high quality and motion blur. Go to the render 3D node and rechange the render type to hardware instead. Now grab this cloud PNG and we will put it in a separate 3D layer from this one. So add an image plane 3D and connect it to the merge 3D. You can see it over here, and with using the translation Z value, bring it very close to the camera and reduce the scale a little bit. And play with the X, Y and Z value in the translation settings to put it in this position. Basically we are going to add like 4 copies in different position here to get this nice 3D entry scene. So like I said, make a copy of it, play with the translation settings and make sure the Z value is different from each one so it gives us the 3D look. When you're done, it should look like this when you place several clouds in the front of the camera. And when you move the camera like you see here, you'll get this nice 3D effect. And of course you can adjust everything to match your liking. Select everything, group it and rename it clouds so you can be organized. Now grab this aircraft plane and to delete this white background, shift plus space and add 3D keyer. And from the second viewer, just draw around the white area to delete it. And in the inspector tab you can adjust everything to have a clean selection. When you're done, add an image plane 3D and connect it, and like the clouds, rescale it and put it after the clouds. And later on we are going to use this X value to make it pass through the map like this. But now we need another duplicate from it. We can do this by adding a duplicate 3D node after the image plane 3D. We need 3 copies, so type it here, and when you adjust the offsets, you will see it. Now just use both settings in the duplicate and in the image plane 3D, so it will be like this. There's another thing to add in this base layer, this explosion to be exact. So add this green screen, and like the aircraft plane area, add a 3D keyer node and select the green color, and from the settings adjust it to get a clean selection. Now just rescale it and put it in a random position on the map. Now to the animation part. Select the camera 3D node and make sure you are in the first frame. Put it in this position, then in the Z transition value create a keyframe and move ahead according to your animation and create another one. And move the camera all the way to the polygone area and smooth the animation by opening the spline editor, select the whole graph and hit F to smooth it, and you can always readjust it according to your animation. Next, click on the image plane 3D of the aircraft planes and create 2 keyframes in the X translation value. And in the second one, move it all the way to the right side so it can pass through like I showed you before. But here you can notice that the animation is fast and you can't see the aircraft passes. So you'll need to readjust the scale position and even the keyframes like I do here to get it right by opening the keyframes tab and selecting the first keyframe and move it to the first frame of the scene. And keep doing this and it will help you to get a smoother animation. When you're done, open Spline and click here and check on Show Only Selected Tools and select the Image Plane 3D node and smooth the animation like the last one, and there you go. Next, if you have noticed, the explosion starts before the aircraft passes, and we want it to start after. So go to that moment and select the media and not the merge node of the explosion green screen. Open the keyframes tab and crop the first 3 frames because it started with a black screen. And crop the last frame like I do here, and with this you can move it freely like this to the according frame. And there you can extend it, and as you can see the timing is perfect. What's left is just create 3 copies and distribute it across the map. Next, the map area. Let's deactivate the 2 merges of the red fill and the sign. Move to this point and click on the polygon node. Create 2 keyframes in the length, and in the first one reduce it to 0. And smooth the animation by selecting the graph, right click and in choose out cubic, so it can be a little bit fast. For the red fill, there is a trick that you can do by grabbing a fast noise node and connecting it to the merge. Head to the color settings, change it to the gradient and reduce the alpha of the black color to 0. And create 2 keyframes in the offset. Then in the first one, keep increasing the offset until the point when the color disappears. And then in the second keyframe, move it to the opposite direction until the whole color appears. And you'll get this dope animation to the color. For the sign, the animation is simple. Just create 2 keyframes in the blend of the merge node and reduce the first one to 0. And for the second one, don't put it to 1, just under 0.5 will be fine. The last thing that we can add is the text animation, which you can do by adding text plus node and adjust it to your liking and create 2 keyframes in the right on to get a nice typing effect or any other animation that you want. But for this part, I'll use my own text animation template, which will speed up the animation for us. In the blur section, there is this one, the blur fade text, which you can customize it easily. Then move to the according moment and in the animation controls, keep increasing the appearance time until the text will disappear and increase the animation speed to like 7 or 10, and there you go. No keyframes needed. If you didn't like this one, you can add another one from 60 plus other animation like this one and save some time in the editing part. I haven't released it yet, but let me know in the comments what's your thought about it. I hope this tutorial helped you today and see you guys in the next one.